Hello, welcome back to Fred in the Shed. We're up in the radio attic for this one. Got a new radio sent in from Baofeng. This is the very latest version of the UV25. This is the UV25 PLUS, launched a few weeks ago now. And this is the biggest radio that they do. It has the longest battery life. And it's really a monster of a radio, and it's quite heavy in my hand. When you look on the back of the radio, all of this is battery. Can you believe that? 5,200 mAh, 38 WA. That is the rating of this battery. This thing will last for days and days, if not weeks, on standby. It has a 15-hour operating time when used at mid-power, which is just 5 watts. Quite impressive, isn't it? So that's what we're doing on this video. We're going to be having a close look, trying to see what's changed, what I can make out from the previous model, and then we'll take it outside and give it a basic test. So stay tuned. So the first thing you've got to get over is the size of this radio. This is the very latest UV5R Plus that I reviewed a few weeks ago, and as you can see, look, it dwarfs it. It's about a third again in size, and as I mentioned, it's a heavy radio. I haven't weighed it, but it weighs, I think, is about 700 or 800 grams with that very large battery. Obviously aimed mostly for people that are going to be going on extreme range, people that want to join sort of DX nets and PMR groups, things like that. It probably would be ideal with that battery life actually for a PMR group. You would probably be able to join the net all day. In a moment we'll have a closer look at the radio. It's very, very well built, very nicely constructed. But let's have a look in the box, because with this model you do get some very nice goodies. I don't know if the contents of the box change per region. I have seen a couple of videos on the previous generation of the radio, and it was supplied with different accessories. But we'll have a look what we get on the one that they've sent in. I'm in the UK, of course. So firstly is the antenna. There's two antennas supplied, a short and a long one. The long one is something quite unique actually. I've not really seen this. It's kind of a gooseneck antenna. It's adjustable, so obviously it folds in half for easy transport. You'd need it fully extended, of course, for the SWR. Has a lockable female SMA on that connection there. Quite long as well, so you're certainly going to know the length of the radio when this is attached, and that's probably why it folds as a plastic section at the end. I believe there used to be a tactile antenna supplied on the previous model. You no longer get that, but you do get, and it looks a little bit silly when you put it on the radio, as I'm going to demonstrate, but you do get a tiny little stubby antenna. Here we go, the BF805S, and as I say, when that's screwed into the radio, it looks like there's no antenna at all because the radio is so big. But that'll be fine for very, very local comms. The range you get on that obviously isn't going to be brilliant, but it saves you walking around with the great big gooseneck attached. This particular version also come with a very nice, if I can get into it, very nice carry case, and I'm quite impressed by this. Has a strap there so you can sort of carry it on your shoulder, which I think you're going to need to do because this radio being so heavy, it does come with a belt clip, but I can't see you really wanting this on your belt, and this has a much better sturdy press stud there for attaching that onto your belt, and I think that's what you're going to want to use. But yeah, very, very useful. Very useful. The speaker will be protruding out the top of the case there as well. So yeah, quite nice they provided that. And then to go along with that, again, it's something that's quite useful with a radio of this size. Because of the weight of this thing, you're not going to want to be carrying this around too much in your hands. And they supplied you with rather nice little speaker mic. Kenwood 2-pin go into the side of the radio. So with the combination of the case, you can have this just hanging either around your, around your shoulder or clipped to your belt. and then you can use the talking brooch. So yeah, that's quite nice actually, quite impressed with that. As I say, there is lots of plastic bags. There is the belt clip. It's a metal sprung hinge, but the belt clip itself is plastic. That'll attach, I mean, okay, to be fair, it doesn't attach to the battery, which is quite nice. That'll attach on there. It's a big thing to hang on your belt, to be honest with you. I don't see many people using that. And likewise, it's got a wrist lanyard. Yeah, I suppose that attaches on there. Maybe, yeah, if you're scared of dropping it, although it does feel very rugged, but I think that would probably feel quite heavy on your wrist. What else do we get? USB-C charging lead, charges directly into the back of the battery. Absolutely fine. Then they give you another little headset here. This is a little, I won't do it. It's a little plug-in earbud with a sort of microphone if you want to look like some security agent. Again, not something that I would use, but if you're using the carry bag, you could have that connected to your ear, and then you just get a very basic little wall socket charger there with a Euro style plug. Not something I'd use in the UK. I'm going to use a mobile phone charger. One thing that's not supplied though is a program cable. I do wish in a way they'd supply that. I'd quite happy forego that, and I'd forego that for the sake of a program cable. I mean, fortunately I've got a lot of cables, but there might be some people buying this for the first time and they haven't got a cable, and it's a little bit frustrating having to go online and get one. But yeah, some nice goodies in the box, so you certainly get quite a bit for your money. Let's have a closer look at the radio. Quick mention on the instruction booklet. It does look quite a thick booklet on the first impressions, but obviously it's multi-language, and yeah, it's okay. It's, you know, it's not the easiest to use, to be perfectly honest, but then again, it's certainly not the worst. There is lots of features and functions on the radio. We'll go through some of them. We're obviously going to be reprogramming this for PMR, so a lot of the features we're probably not going to use, but yeah, it's okay. Now, one of the first things I've noticed, and this is straight away just getting it out of the box, it concerns the keypad. Once again, and this was the same on the latest Plus version that I just done from Baofeng, you'll notice on the keys they've done away with the shortcuts. Normally you would have shortcuts on the keys such as squelch, transmit power, Vox, things like that. The later version, these Plus versions, it was the same on the UV25 Pro there. There's no shortcuts, and just let me show what I'm talking about. This is a very old UV5R, and hopefully you can see, or you might just be able to make out on the camera there. So on here you've got all of the, in blue, you've got all of the shortcut features on the buttons, and yeah, it's missing once again. It's missing on this new radio. It seems to be a trend that they're going through, and I did look back, and the previous version, not the Plus, does have those shortcuts on the radio, and I think that's a bit of a step backwards, to be perfectly honest. The radio does come with a very nice colour display, lots of information on there. We have found in the past, and I'm sure this one will be exactly the same, when you do get out into bright sunshine you can barely read them, but as I say, unfortunately a lot of these radios are going for the eye candy now, and they're going for this display. But this one is actually really nice. There's lots of information on there, very clear to my eyes. Hopefully that's coming across on camera. Now, looking at the radio itself, it's built like a brick. I mean, it weighs the same weight as a brick, but it is built like a brick. Everything is really chunky. The PTT there is rubberized. We have 3 buttons on the side. Unfortunately, only one of them is programmable, and that's the third one. And I did try and program this in the Baofeng software. I tried to program this as a search button, but when it's in channel mode, it seems, unfortunately, I'm unable to get it to search, and but maybe that's just me. Very large speaker, of course, nice metal effect speaker grill. Back of the radio, well, it's all battery, isn't it? I mean, it's got this 5,200 mAh battery. You charge it straight into the battery there, which is good. Has a little programming light. As I mentioned, the belt clip, if you really want to use it, is separate from the battery. And the battery is so substantial that it screws into the radio. You have two separate screws there, so it locks the battery in case you drop it, because it is quite heavy and it could come out. On this side of the radio, nice to see that Baofeng are sticking with the Kenwood style 2-pin plug. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Very big rubber flap. Now it does sort of click in quite nice, and when I took the battery in, there is a little sort of orange gasket around the fitting of the battery. So you think it was waterproof, but it doesn't come with any IP rating, so only showerproof, which is a bit strange, thinking this is sort of aimed for the outdoor types, maybe the preppers. Top of the radio, very, very nice. In fact, this is probably the best on any radio that I've ever really tested. Very nice metal aluminium there, on off, and volume control with a protector, again made out of metal, in case you do drop the radio. Feels absolutely lovely. Really, really do like that. No torch on this radio. I believe the previous version, the 25, had a flashlight. That was always symbolic of Baofeng, but the other one that I tested, the UV5R, that's missing as well. So it seems that they're doing away with the torch, which is a bit strange, but that's how it is. So you may notice straight away that the A and B button is missing. That's always been on Baofeng's. If you want to change from frequency to preset mode, you now just hold down the, there we go, you just hold down the key. And ironically, now I'm in sort of VFO mode, I can scan by holding down the hash key. I think, yeah, there it goes. So you just have to hold it down, there's a slight delay, then the radio goes into scan mode. But unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't work in channel mode, which is a little bit odd. So let's just get it back to channel mode. To enter the menu, you push the home button. Incidentally, the keys are very nice. They're very big, they're backlit, and they have a very, very nice tactile feel to them. You could certainly use these with gloves without any problem. So into the menu system. Now, another feature that this radio's got that I really like actually is the fact that you can set the timeout function. There you go. You can set the amount of timeout you want when you're in the menu system from, I think it's anything from 2 seconds up to 30 seconds. I always find that these menu systems, they time out too quick. So I've increased that, which is good. Now then, feature that was on the UV5H Pro, we now have banked memory storing. So what you get with this is basically, you can see there it says zone 1. It's gone back out. Maybe I should have set that a little bit longer. There we go. So we now have zone 1. I believe you can add zones. On the other radio you could. So basically, for your PMR channels, you can put everything into one zone and one bank, and then you can add another bank as well, so you can put other channels in that you want to monitor. Really, really do appreciate that. Scan feature, yeah, quite good actually. Frequency scan, scan mode, scan subcode. So as I say, you can now scan via subcodes, which is the privacy codes. And then, so if you've got a frequency and someone's in your group, for example, and you know you're getting their transmission, but you're not hearing the audio on that. If you go into that and you scan, it will lock onto their subcode, and it will match it on this radio. No scramble function though, I couldn't see on this radio, which maybe it's a little bit odd. And then we've just got the basic radio settings. And yeah, as you'd expect, step rate, squelch, power save, Vox. Now, one thing that is a little odd, and I've had to email them, I can't find the power settings for the radio. You can go into each individual channel and you can set it individually for each individual channel. But normally there is a shortcut that would be printed on the keys, and you can normally go in and just set your power right across all of your channels. I can't see that, so I've emailed them. Hopefully they're going to come back to me. So as you can see, yeah, there's quite a few functions in here. It's not too bad. I mean, sometimes these go on to a 40 or 50. I think this tops out at about 27. Yeah, there's your menu exit time. I like that feature. Yeah, 27. And then back. So yeah, it's not too bad. They've kept it nice and simple. Your GNSS, that is the GPS function. I'll switch that on when we go outside. But with that only gives you your coordinates. It also, apparently, haven't tried it, also will give you your height above ground, which again is really good for people like looking for a high spot to join a PMR net, or DXers that again are looking for extra range. It will also, as I say, it will send your location to another radio should you get into difficulty. And another feature this radio's got, again, if you're really into extreme urban exploring and things like that, it has a fall down feature or a man down feature, and it has a gyroscope in the radio, and you can set it that if, for example, you did take a sudden tumble, the radio will detect that, and then after a period of delay, giving you a chance to cancel it, it will transmit an emergency signal, which is quite impressive for a budget radio. So as you can see, I have programmed this for the PMR channels. Now the radio tops out at 440 megahertz. I've taken it to 446, so I'm a little bit outside its parameters. Now, as always, I have to caution you that if you decide to use this as a UK PMR radio, it is not type approved. Therefore, you are breaking the law, and you do so at your own risk. Now, normally I would like to use Chirp. Unfortunately, this latest version, the Plus version, is currently not supported in Chirp. As I mentioned, this new Pro version of the 25 is not supported in Chirp yet, but seeing as the old version was, I think it's just a matter of time till Chirp catches up. So you are stuck with the Baofeng official software. It's a little bit old looking, it's a little bit clunky, but it does support copy and paste, and that's really all you're interested in to get the 16 PMR channels in. I did hit one fail message, and that's purely down to me being a bit silly, because I didn't realise that this is a multi-purpose program, and you simply just have to select the correct model. Once I did that, it programmed the radio without a problem straight away. There are some additional features that you can set on the radio. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a bit more here. As I say, the function buttons, only the bottom one is programmable. I did try and set this to the scan feature, but for some reason on my radio, when I downloaded the channels, this didn't work. So I'm not quite sure what went wrong there. But anyway, I got the 16 channels on my radio via copy and paste without any difficulty. We talk about range on the radio, even on medium power, say sort of 5 watts, you should get a very good range, especially out of this antenna. This is a very long antenna. I've tested these type of radios before. I've got well over 8 kilometers before on these type of, and again this one should do that no problem, so you might even get up to 10 kilometers in a nice open area. Unfortunately, I'm surrounded by people and houses. So we had a email back from Baofeng pretty quickly. So although the shortcut icons are missing from the keypad, which I think is a bit of a backward step, to be honest. I think the earlier version of the radio, which had the shortcut icons, was probably easier to use. But thankfully there is a way of quickly changing the power setting on the radio, and that is the top button here. With just a short press, changes from high, medium to low. You won't be able to see it on the screen, unfortunately, because it's quite a sunny day. So yeah, that's really no problem. A long press will set off the radio siren, so don't do that. Anyway, it's a nice day, sunny, it's not raining, and we're going to go out now to my usual spot on the flyovers and give the radio a range test. So here we are then, we're at the usual perch, 800 metres or so from the QTH. You just have to be careful with this gooseneck antenna, just to make sure that it's straight, otherwise the SWR will be affected. Now it's nice that you get the case with the radio, but as you can see on camera, with that black screen, that reversed screen on this radio, in the sunshine, I really can't read it, and that is the problem with these black screens on the radio. So we're going to just do a test here, and I've just switched it to low power because there's no need for anything other than that. So we're just going to do a quick test back to the QTH. Yeah, audio test 1 2 3 4. Audio.
Yeah, audio test 1 2 3 4. Audio 1 2 3 4. Low power test on the first flyover. Audio 1 2 3 4. Audio.
So here we are then, we're at our second spot. This is about 2 kilometres from the QTH. I've turned the radio up for high power for the first test, and then I'll reduce it to low power for the second test. So let's try on high power. Yeah, audio test 1 2 3 4. Audio, high power test.
Yeah, audio test 1 2 3 4. Audio, high power test on the flyover now. High power, second flyover, audio 1 2.
Right, we're on low power now. One thing I've just noticed using this case, which is rather good, if you look past my thumb there, the edge of the case covers the microphone, because the microphone is just below the speaker, which is a bit of a design fault really, because you don't really want to cover the microphone. But never mind. Right, this is the low power test then from the second flyover. Audio test 1 2 1 2. Audio.
Audio test 1 2 1 2. Audio. Second flyover, low power test now. Low power. Mary had a little lamb. Audio 1 2 3 4. Audio.
So we're now back at the car. So we're just over half a kilometre out from the QTH, and I've changed to the little stubby antenna, the 805S. I just thought it'd be interesting to do a callback on high power and just see if it gets back. I mean, generally these little stubby antennas have got very little range. Half a kilometre is a bit of an ask, but it is a powerful radio. It is on high power. Let's just give it a test. Yeah, audio check 1 2 3 4.
Yeah, audio check 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Audio. Stubby antenna. Just back at the car now. Audio 1 2 1 2. Audio.
I've just attached the little speaker mic because walking around with this today, it makes you realise how heavy it is when you keep picking it up to your ear. And I mean, if I was on a group or something and I was waiting for the chairperson to let me in each time, yeah, it's going to get quite heavy. So just going to try the speaker mic now. It's quite a nice little speaker mic. It also, I've noticed as well, in the bottom there, it has a headphone jack. So if you can see that, so that's really, really good. So you could just put some earbuds in as well if you wanted to be a little bit concealed. You didn't want people sort of interfering with you, and you can talk a little bit like a private eye, a bit like a CB mic, and you can talk into the CB mic. Let me just turn this up. So of course, when you've got the speaker mic connected, as it's called a speaker mic, there is a built-in speaker. So any communication now comes through the mic itself, and it should be quite loud. Let me just break the squelch. Yeah, it is. So yeah, quite loud. Probably would use earbuds for myself, but it just makes sense, I think, especially with that nice case. If you could, maybe attach this to your belt and then just use the microphone, unless you want maximum range, of course, then you want to be holding this up. So yeah, it's quite a unique radio. I mean, I think the main selling feature really, other than the build quality, because it is particularly nice with that metal volume on and off switch, but the main selling feature really is that large 5200 mAh battery, and that's twice the size that you would get in what is say a standard type radio, probably 3 times a PMR radio. 15 hours average use time on 5 watts. So if you went down to 2 watts, what's that going to be? 30 hours or something. 10 watts, even if you got 6 or 7 hours, that's still enough for any net. And then standby, I mean, I don't know, that's going to last weeks, isn't it, on standby? Quite remarkable. Definitely its main feature. Criticisms for the radio? Not really. I mean, it's such a unique radio. I think the only criticism, and this affects, as I say, the later Baofeng radios, I do wish they would put the shortcuts back on the keys. They've just got A, B, C, D, E, F. It means nothing. Yeah, I'd like the little shortcuts for the transmit power and for the squelch, things like that. Just makes it easier than going into the menu on the radio. I don't know why they've deleted those. So Baofeng, you need to put those back just to make the radio that bit easier. But no, overall, it's a very unique radio, very heavy, and yeah, if you're into this sort of thing, definitely it's a good preppers radio as well. I think with that long battery life. So there you go. That's the end of the review. I'd like to say thank you, of course, for tuning into Freddy in the Shed. I don't get that many views on a lot of my videos, so I do appreciate every one of you popping by. And if you're interested in this radio, it came direct from Baofeng, and I have a link in the description straight to the Baofeng website. And I think that's important. There's so many fake products, especially Baofengs, although I don't know if anyone's faking this big one yet. So I think it's good to go straight to Baofeng, but it's in the description if you want to check it out further. Anyway, that's it for the video. Please look after each other, stay safe, of course, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers, guys. Just a little tip here, which is radio related. If you've got an older car like me that relies on one of these key fobs, radio key fobs, to open and close it, you'll find that at this distance, if I press the unlock button now, you see it doesn't unlock the car, we're too far away. But if you hold the key fob to your chin, touch your chin, you're using your body as a ground wave, and that increases transmit range. So I'm now going to put this on my chin off camera. I'm now pressing the button and it works. Pressing the lock button doesn't work. Using my body as a ground wave, oh, it proved me wrong. Let's go a little bit closer. Now, there we go. Amazing, isn't it? How radio works. Anyway, just a silly little tip.
Fred's in the shed where the magic unfolds. Fred in the shed with his trusty CB. He's a friend to the lonely on a frequency.